Welcome to Envision Radio from the United Way of Greater Charlottesville and City of Promise, News Radio 98.9, 1070 AM WINA, and brought to you by the Jefferson School Foundation with Markiana and Price, coming to you from right here in the studio in downtown Charlottesville. And before we get started, I wanted to thank every single volunteer, every single project host, every single person that pushed like on a social media post from United Way, who made Day of Caring possible this week. I appreciate you. Words will never comprehend how good you make me look at work. So I thank you and shout out to all the people, and I hope you had a great day out there volunteering, because I sure had a great day watching you guys volunteer. So thanks.
That's what we're doing. We're just trying to make you look good. We're just here in service, trying to make you look good at work. We got you. How was it? Tell us a little bit about it. I was at the thing in the morning. The crowd was good. The power went out.
The power went out.
That was y'all knocked the lights out.
That is how the lights went out in Georgia. It was great. I really needed it. It was one of the hardest Day of Carings to plan in my career for a lot of different reasons, but getting to see people in this community get out and volunteer, people who maybe not gotten a chance to make a difference in their community in the ways they think they want to make them, take off for a day and do good, really has motivated me to keep pushing and doing the work, and that it was all worth something. Do you have a favorite project? I do. I'm going to say shout out to WorkSource for their all-inclusive prom, which the organization helps disabled adults in many different areas of their life. And so they had a prom where they had a DJ, they had a dance hall, they crowned a king and queen, and every single person from the volunteers to the clients radiated so much joy. And so shout out to them for making it possible, the volunteers and the organization. So it was super cool. Yeah, that's a big lift, and it's a big sort of weather dependent lift, and there's a lot of moving parts in that thing. Absolutely. And so I know you got to be happy that it happened and happy that it's over. Yes! It's waiting to exhale, whatever Whitney said. He's a good man, Savannah. He's a good man. So thank you for giving me my flowers, and thank you for making me look good. But we're really here to celebrate our next guest. Today we are thrilled to be joined by Melody Pannell. She is a Harlem native, Director of Healthcare Leadership, Education, and Community Wellness at UVA Health, was elected the first woman of color to serve on the Town Council of Dayton, Virginia, founder and CEO of Destiny's Daughters, Inc., and has more degrees than anyone I've ever met. But most excitingly for me... This bio's excitingly for me... I only made it through the first paragraph. I thought you sent it twice. No, yes! I kept scrolling. And, I look at emails on my phone sometimes, and so I'm like, all right, cool. We got the questions, we got the research, da-da-da. And then I just kept going, and I was like, I gotta do this later. I gotta be a place where I can sit down. Out of the 10-page bio of amazing things she's done, most excitingly for me is that she's our next guest on Envision Radio. Okay. Yeah, that needs to be added to this. Yeah. You gotta add it to the bio. I'm going Envision Radio guest. Yeah. I mean... Let's be serious. What are we doing here? Yeah. Absolutely. Well, thanks for joining us. Thank you. It is amazing to be here. I've been looking forward to this for a long time now. Is that right? Oh, yeah, I made it. I made it. Look, that's what happens in year 5 when you have a schedule and a process for actually... They don't remember how it was when we had to get it out the gutter. You was at your house doing it from the phone, Price. They don't remember. In my house. I was calling my friends on Wednesday nights, can you pop in here on tomorrow morning? On the phone? Truly. I was just walking around. I was like, what studio's open? I swear there were times where Jay was like, how'd you get in here? And I was like, we gotta real quick. Door's locked, too late. Ooh. So bill us for it. We have come a long way. But Melody, it's great to have you. Tell us a little bit about we'll start at the beginning and then we'll see where we get to. But tell us a little bit about growing up. Tell us a little bit about where you're from, and then we'll find out how you made it here to Charlottesville. Absolutely. Well, they say when people are from New York City, they always represent their borough. That's right. And even more so, their neighborhood. Rep your set. Yeah. So I am from Harlem, New York City. Okay. It is in Manhattan, but Harlem is its own thing. It is its own thing. Yeah. I was born and raised there, and particularly as a biracial woman. So my father's African American.
African-American. My mother is white. And so they got married in 1964, where, and here in Virginia, it would be illegal.
Was it Loving Virginia had a pass?
No. So, but in New York,
Loving was
we were up north.
67, 68,
yeah.
I think.
Yeah. So born and raised there biracial. My mother and father raised 3 children in Harlem. In heart of Harlem, I was born, I don't tell my age, but basically civil rights movement was not that, it was over, but not that far over.
Yeah, sure.
We were in the Black Panther movement. Okay, we were in the Black culture arts movement and all of those different things. But particularly as a teenager, it was the crack era, it was the AIDS epidemic, it was the war on drugs and everything else. I was raised in Harlem particularly raised in a Mennonite church. A Mennonite church. There, my father was the first African-American pastor of that church. There, I was raised really focusing on social activism, social gospel as well. And I went to an all-black private elementary school where the principal was Mildred L. Johnson, who was the niece of James Weldon Johnson.
Oh my God, so much history.
Okay, lift every voice and sing. That part. But I think really just the amazing time growing up in Harlem during my time where I was taught so much about, the social injustices, getting involved, community advocacy, from a theological perspective, really looking at Black liberation theology, womanist theology, and all of that, again, was really affected me and impacted me and things. And so I got involved on a political level at a young age, on a social activism level, and of course, just the spiritual theology perspective. But the theology that looks at how do you help people, how do you meet people where they are, how do you accept everyone for who they are, and just make a difference in the community. So my family and community was very involved in making a difference.
So all these influences, what did little you want to be? Did you want to be a preacher like your dad? Did you want to teach? Did you want to be a Black Panther? Did you want to be Angela Davis?
Yeah, a little of all of that. I was, my father, he was a pastor. Before that, he was a science teacher. And then he was a podiatrist.
He was moving.
Okay, he was doing all the things.
It's a pretty linear career path, right?
Exactly.
I think we've all been there. Science teachers, podiatrists. That is true. That is true. That is true. That's fair.
And science is religion,
There you go.
I just made that.
Oh, Lord. See, this is one of those moments. You did that one time. You said something. I was like, where did that come from? You're like, I just made it up.
I just made it up.
Yeah. You said it confidently, though. That was good.
I don't know what that means.
Yeah.
I couldn't even dissect that. I just said it because I thought it
sounded
sounded cool.
anything, but you said it confidently.
Right. It's right.
Yeah.
It's science.
I bought it.
Is religion. I appreciate that. And my father obviously did, right? So, and my mother was a nurse. I think for myself, I was kind of like the neighborhood counselor. So I was really into, helping people and empowering people, especially my friends, young women, young girls in the community. I wanted to be a counselor. I wanted to be a helper. But I must say, I was influenced by the lights, camera, action of New York City and of the school I went to. I went to LaGuardia Music and Art, Performing Arts. Shout out to Fame, the Fame School.
Oh my goodness!
So I did piano. I played classical piano, and I dabbled in the arts in that way. And so I wanted to, prior to my calling to help people and you go into ministry, I actually wanted to be into fashion and the music industry and things like that. I know a lot of people from that industry, and so I was interested in that at first, and then started shifting to, you know what? Let me do something that actually makes a difference as well,
right?
In a different way, and I started to focus on spirituality and counseling and kind of helping in that way. Yeah, but it still comes. I still like fashion now.
You can still sing a little tune, I'm sure.
I still like the fashion. I still like the arts. But I use that, particularly the Black arts movement, to look at empowerment of women and utilize that in womanist theology. So it all connects. It all comes together.
Oh, you looking at me?
You got a question.
Listen, I know how these shows go. When y'all start vibing, I just sit here, I just listen. So
when did you?
See, she looked at me like she thought she was like, I'm gonna give you a turn, but she
him
really
a turn.
wasn't, right?
I try to give him a turn.
Like that's why we don't have.
After this, he's gonna say, Marky be talking all the time.
That's why we don't have cameras in here, because you couldn't have seen the performance on her face. Like, do you want to join? Don't pretend like you want my input right now. You just go ahead.
So tell us a little bit about. So you graduated from high school. What did you do after that? Where did you go? And how did you end up in Virginia?
Okay, great question. So I grew up in a Mennonite church in Harlem, and actually I started doing ministry. Destiny's Daughter started technically as a girls group in my church. At 7th Avenue Mennonite Church, I started working with teenage girls. And then as I was doing that, I wanted to go into that further. Every place that I went to try to volunteer with Covenant House, Teen Challenge, they were like, that's great, get a degree. And so,
sure.
Dang!
They were like, oh, that's great, but yeah, you might want to,
We're doing it in lieu of service now.
Okay, yeah. So basically, I decided then to go away to school to Eastern Mennonite University here in Harrisonburg, Virginia.
Oh, this is a long way.
Yeah, but it was connected because, again, my parents are technically from Pennsylvania.
Okay.
Kind of rural area, so it wasn't so foreign to me.
Okay.
But I did go away. But I didn't go away to school until 6 years after graduating from high school.
Oh, wow.
I was doing things in the fashion and arts and things like that. So I came to EMU and to study social work.
Was it a culture shock to be in Virginia after being in Harlem?
It was a culture shock in many ways. Now, of course, EMU and other places throughout Virginia are a little more diverse, but it wasn't back in the 90s. And so I came there still with my social activism mindset, and I was like, oh, we're going to change this. We're going to make some difference here. And so I did. And so I got really involved at the university in the Black Student Unions, SGA. I love leadership, and I really see it as, don't complain, try to get involved to make a difference, right? So that's what I did. It was a culture shock in many ways, but a great experience because I absolutely got involved on every level of EMU, and that's what brought me to Virginia. There. I didn't stay here.
Oh, okay.
I didn't stay here. I actually graduated from there and then went back to New York.
Oh, so it's even crazy you returned again after you went back?
I know. Why do I keep coming back?
So when you went back to New York, what made you go back there?
I went back to New York to do my master's in social work at Fordham University. And I wanted to do my social work placement, particularly in urban areas, and refocus on it. I did not think I was coming back.
Or you was like, well, thanks for the degree.
Yeah. I was like,
you meant something to me, but I gotta go.
I gotta go back to New York.
Oh, no, right.
So I was like, I gotta get out of here. And I did, and I did not think I was coming back. Long story short, my brother ended up coming down here to go to seminary, and then the director of multicultural services position opened up at EMU. This is in 2003. And they kept saying, you should apply. I was like, absolutely not. Absolutely not. I'm done. I'm over it. And then I just kept feeling, I definitely believe in the Spirit, being led by the Spirit for my life. And I just kept feeling like, I got to apply. I applied on a Friday. The next week I had the job. And then a month later, I was coming down here again.
Packing your bags and coming back.
And just leaving. My going away party was a cry fest. Everybody was crying like, how could you leave? I don't believe you go to Virginia. Yes. So I technically have now been in Virginia since 2003.
If you are just jumping in, this is Envision Radio from the United Way of Greater Charlottesville and City of Promise News Radio 98.9, 1070 AM, WINA. Price and Markey with Melody Pannell, the Director of Healthcare Leadership, Education, and Community Wellness at EVA. Big thanks to our sponsor and friend, the Jefferson School Foundation. My voice sounds weird.
Your voice does sound weird.
It sounds weird. It sounds weird to me. It sounds.
You
weird
got a voice for radio.
Yeah. That's
Get a little water.
That was distracting to me. I don't.
It was.
I was like, who's? Anyway.
Anyhow.
So okay. So you're out and you're back, and you're out and you're back, and you come back to your alma mater.
I do.
Had it changed in the interim? Did you feel, there's we've talked about this of people who are from here and who are now adults here, right? So you went through sort of you're sort of relatively formative years. You're a little bit older, but as an undergrad, and then left, sort of went home to do a grad.
Yes.
Like, how were those transitions? So I guess it's sort of a two-part question. How was it going home, older and with a different experience? And then how is it coming back? Right.
Yes.
And it's a totally different role. I mean, now not coming back as a student, right now coming back as someone who, was being asked to, lead things and be an adult, still, relatively young, but in a place where I'm sure there were still people there who knew you from when you were in school. Right.
There sure were. The previous director was Diane Swan Wright. Many people in Charlottesville may know her from working in Monticello, the Getting Word Project. She was my mentor. And so I was coming back. There was a director in between us, but basically I had worked for her as a graduate assistant before. When I came back, one of the provosts there interviewed me and said, well, we, EMU, haven't changed as much, maybe as much as you have liked, right? With diversity aspects, particularly mindset. And I said, well, I haven't either, meaning that I'm still the social justice activist, Harlem Night, person that you knew as a student, but even more so now, because now I, again, have learned some things through my going back home, through my master's at Fordham University in social work. So I'm coming back even more stronger and looking at how do we empower people that may be marginalized. And they were like, okay, well, come on back. And those 5 years there were amazing in multicultural services. We did a lot of innovative work. Things changed when people were more open to the work. They knew me as a student leader. And I think also because of my Mennonite background, I was able to build that bridge to connect people, and then also in the community. I worked a lot in the Northeast community, historically Black community in Harrisonburg. Did a lot there. My brother was there. We did a lot of things with church ministry as well as getting involved. And I think it was a great experience for me and for others as well. So I was there for about 5 years, and then I moved to Richmond.
Oh, hey!
Yeah, to move to Richmond, Virginia, to have the historically Black college experience, right? And also maybe to make me feel a little bit more like I'm in New York.
Yeah, that's our New York.
Okay, it sure is. Yeah. So I was there at Virginia Union University, working as director of counseling services, but that's why I ended up picking up some degrees.
Okay.
When I was there.
You said, why not?
Why not? I was in ministry, and the Reverend Angelo Chapman had said to me, listen, you're in ministry, you need to be at this seminary. This is a renowned seminary here at Virginia Union, Samuel DeWitt Proctor School of Theology. You need to be at this school. And I was like, you know what? I do. So I was like, let me go to the seminary there, and I ended up doing that, and then getting a master's in Christian education because my electives added up to it. So
right.
Might as well.
That's how I got my degree.
You said that looking at the rest of us like I accidentally got a degree.
I did.
Not too many of us can fall into a PhD.
Yeah, right.
I'm trying now, currently.
Cannot relate. Thank you.
But that's what Destiny's Daughters really, we named it Destiny's Daughters at Eastern Mennonite University.
Tell us, everybody who may not know what Destiny's Daughters is.
Destiny's Daughters is a therapeutic mentoring and personal leadership development program for young women and girls, particularly focused on African American girls. It started at 7th Avenue Mennonite Church in the 1990s. When I started that group. And then when I came to EMU, we named it Destiny's Daughters, that we have a destiny, and that particularly at that time looking at us as daughters. And we named it there. The students at EMU, Multicultural Services, they mentor the students in the community, so elementary students. And then later on, when we came to Virginia Union University, that's when it just took off. We had over 100 members there at Virginia Union University. We became a LLC at that time. Okay, got a little official. And then it really blossomed there, and it really grew to where we were empowering the women on campus. It's been on campus since 2010.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so we've... Yeah.
How many years is that, Price? I'm not good with math.
How many years since 2010 to now to 2025? You have a degree from the University
15?
of Virginia.
15.
There you go.
Yes,
there you go. Yeah, 15
wow,
years.
15 years.
So we've been there for 15 years. And then later on in 2020, we became a nonprofit.
Okay.
But it was just an amazing experience in empowering women of color there at the HBCU. on campus, and then really looking at spiritual development, looking at identity development, looking at social justice and resilience. And it still is just an amazing campus student organization there.
I'm sure Tina Knowles is mad. I'm sure that's what she wanted to name Destiny's Child, but y'all had taken the once y'all got the LLC. She said, "Dang, I guess I gotta do Child. I was trying to do Destiny's Daughters."
To this day, some people at Richmond were like, "Oh, I love Destiny's Child. I'm like, Destiny's Child."
Me too.
I was like, that's exactly what she wanted to name it.
We say my name.
She couldn't pay the royalties. She said, I can't use the name because I got to pay y'all every month.
That's right. We're Destiny's Daughters, not Destiny's Child. Yeah, Tina, I'm sorry, Tina. I'm sorry.
Tina, that's Tina. We represent well. Don't worry.
If you are just joining us, this is Envision Radio from the United Way of Greater Charlottesville, News Radio 98.9, 1070 AM, WINA. Price, Markey, Dr. Melody Pannell here. Big thanks to our sponsor, to our friend, the Jefferson School Foundation, the proud owner of the Jefferson School City Center, jeffersonschoolfoundation.org. Good?
Yes.
You fully recover from Dave carrying week?
No. I am not doing well.
You got to bounce back quick.
I do. I know. It's like a rubber band.
It is, yeah.
So do people go, when they go to seminary, were you planning to pastor? Do you pastor? Do you preach?
I do preach.
Is pastor a verb?
I do preach.
Can you pastor?
Yeah.
So, nowadays in church...
I don't even got a master's, baby.
I don't know.
Can pastors preach? Can preachers pastor? Nowadays in churches... there are a lot of pastoral care. So someone may go into pastoral care, take care of, other types of ministry and maybe not preach or maybe not. And the same thing, people like myself may preach at a church, but not pastor the church, myself as pastor. So I definitely have preached all over throughout the United States. And my brother and I, Richard Anthony Pannell, we used to have a church on the campus of Eastern Mennonite University in Harrisonburg, Mercy and Joy Fellowship. So most of the preaching I do are at other churches or within the ministry of Destiny's Daughters. And focusing particularly on womanist preaching, which looks at looking at the Bible, biblical interpretation from Black women's point of view.
Okay, I love that.
Yes, that's a good. I can talk all day about that.
It's a field of study.
It's a field of study. That's exactly. Shout out, definitely to Memphis Theological Seminary for having the first womanist preaching program, doctorate of ministry program. So that's what I graduated from last year.
Can I ask a quick question that has been on my mind since you were sort of tracing this story? From your family from Pennsylvania to New York here. Are there a lot of Black Mennonites?
There are more global Black Mennonites than there are within the United States. However, the largest Black Mennonite church is here in Virginia.
Is that right?
Yeah, Calvary Community Church. Shout out to Bishop Leslie Francisco and Pastor Natalie Francisco. Also, and Leslie Francisco, their daughter, who is now the senior pastor, that in Hampton, Virginia.
Okay.
So there are Black Mennonites.
Sure.
I think that as our culture does, we do it our way. So same thing like when people say I'm Mennonite, and I'm actually Mennonite Baptist.
Sure, yeah.
I've been part of the Mennonite Church, but also the Baptist, particularly at St. Paul's Baptist Church in Richmond, Virginia. Dr. Lance Watson is my pastor there when I lived in Richmond for 7 years. And in my roots, my grandmother, my paternal grandmother's AME, right? Okay. African Methodist.
Yeah.
So what my point is that even though we've taken on the Mennonite theology, see, my father, when he grew up AME with my grandmother, but he started going to the Mennonite churches as they were doing some outreach there. He fell in love, as I did, and many Black Mennonites have, with the peace theology.
Yep.
So the Anabaptists, which basically just believes in, just like Baptists do, baptizing people when they're older, letting them make their own choice instead of, as we do it maybe in the Roman Catholic Church, of baptizing as babies.
Dunk the babies.
Yeah. So dunk the babies, right? So he really believed in the theology, the peace theology, and the theology of following the way of Christ. and following what Jesus actually says to do, which is to love your neighbor and things like that. And so you have the Mennonite ethnic culture, ethnicity, which my mother is, right? Lancaster County, Pennsylvania.
I was about to say York, Pennsylvania, Lancaster, Pennsylvania.
Exactly.
Yeah. Sure.
My mother was born in Elizabethtown, Pennsylvania.
Yep.
Mennonite by culture and by theology.
Okay.
Right? Old Order Mennonite.
Yeah, sure.
Right? Okay. And my father was born in Coatesville, Pennsylvania. Okay. Just an hour away, but they did not meet there. Yeah. Right? And he fell in love with the Mennonite theology, and he became Mennonite. And how I came to be is that my father did 1W service, or conscientious objector for peace, and went to New York City to work at NYU, and then to go to the Mennonite Church. And then in 1961, and my mother went to volunteer and do missions in New York City in 1962. They met at 7th Avenue Mennonite Church, which was a church plant from Pennsylvania. They were planting churches throughout the city. Okay. And that's where they met and got married. And so they both were on their Mennonite, focus, and then on the mission focus, and wanted to do something different in their lives. And they met there, and that's how I came to be.
The rest is history.
The rest is history.
Can you tell us a little bit about sort of that, either the complementary parts or the contradictory parts of theology and culture, and not only as it pertains to Mennonites, but I mean, that's sort of it's an interesting question to me about religion in general, right? Because there are obviously these theological leanings in religion that preach certain things, but they manifest themselves socioculturally in all manner of ways. And so I'd be interested to hear more about sort of, or particularly in your family or in your experience, right? Like how you reconcile the sort of OG Mennonite culture.
Yes.
Can you take the theology out of it and plant it? How much of the culture were you raised in and expected to upkeep that you did or that you didn't? I mean, I know that one in particular, there's a lot there. There's a lot there especially in medicine, there's a lot there.
Yes.
I'm just curious as to how you've positioned yourself in kind of that tapestry of what to me appears like contradictory pieces.
Absolutely. It is definitely has been a challenge, but also my calling. So I said earlier that my calling in many ways is to build bridges and to connect things in that way. That is really my calling. And when I was growing up, my mother's Mennonite family was very conservative. And my mother grew up not being able to wear makeup, lipstick, pants, jewelry, and and all those different things.
So like what sort of like more closely cued to the popular perception.
She couldn't wear pants either, so I don't know if that. I mean, I might just be everybody old.
That might just be everybody old.
Yeah, she was like, when I was young, she's like, how are you wearing church pants? I said, what you meant? Just put pants on. She was like, we couldn't wear pants to church.
Exactly.
I was like, girl, well then, you got on pants today.
Okay.
So things have to change.
Things change. Things change. And it's not about obviously what you have on and the judgment on that. And many times religion has been used to isolate and marginalize people. Sure. We don't have time to get into the whole history. Okay, let's say of that.
We ain't even talked about her being a town counselor.
But I will say this to maybe give a summary of that amazing question, is that my focus has been how do we decolonize religion? How do we use religion to liberate, emancipate and free people?
And you said you've been preaching. You're preaching today.
All right. Don't get me started. How can we use religion for that? So that's why it is, again, in the Mennonite Church, in the Harlem Mennonite Church, absolutely, challenge the status quo. And even my mother, as a white Mennonite, totally changed in her focus.
Really?
Yeah. When listen, like my mother, God rest her soul, she passed in 2019. But, my friends thought she was a light-skinned black. You know what I mean? Because she was so embedded in the culture of who she was. She lived in Harlem for, more than she lived anywhere else. So over 56 years in Harlem. And before gentrification, okay? So she was a real one in that way. So that's another reason why it's embedded in me in that way. And so we look at it, again, the good things, the positive things about the Mennonite culture, the peace stance in that way, the really true good people, good belief in following Jesus and loving your neighbor as yourself, yes. Some of the isms, right? The racism, the sexism, and all the other isms that come with that. Human nature, people, religious thought, that we, challenge and again stand against, because we believe that that is not the gospel that Jesus preaches, that Jesus taught his disciples. And so I say that, that's why womanist theology appealed to me so much. And again, those movements were born in Harlem. So Black liberation theology, Dr. James Cone, and womanist theology, Reverend Katie Geneva Cannon, that kind of movement happened at Union Theological Seminary, 20 blocks from where I grew up. And so it is, again, looking at how do we liberate people? How do we, again, embrace spirituality, right? Theology to embrace people. Theology is just a study of God, right? And how do we use that and counteract, again, how the society has used religion to oppress people? So I'm not with that. I'm not with that. Yeah, I'm definitely with that liberation and use that in everything that I do.
Feminism is the womanism as lavender is the purple.
There you go. You better come on.
I know you didn't make that one up.
I didn't make that up.
I know you didn't make that one up. I know you didn't make that one up. Listen. Here's what you'll do. You'll spend something like that, and when you side eye me afterwards,
some people,
it's a signal. Listen. You said that confidently, and you didn't peek over your shoulder like, I wonder. Right?
She was preaching. That's Alice Walker, who again, look,
I think God get mad sometimes when you walk through a field and don't notice purple. Okay?
Come on, color purple.
I know that's right. Think it makes God mad. You don't notice it.
Look,
I hold that dear to me.
That's it.
I hold that dear to me.
If you're just joining us, before we let you keep going.
She know what she's talking about.
This is Envision Radio from the United Way of Greater Charlottesville and City of Promise, News Radio 98.9, 1070 AM WINA. Price and Markey here with Dr. Melody Pannell. A big thanks, as always, to our sponsor, the Jefferson School Foundation. That is jeffersonschoolfoundation.org to learn more and to stay connected. Go on.
I said all I had to say.
That was it.
I want to talk to you a little bit about being a town councilor, 2022, you said?
Yes.
It says right here. Talk to us a little bit about what made you get in the ring over there, how you bring the political and the theology and the womanism, and what made you want to do that.
Yeah, listen. I've known you for an hour. You seem lovely. You seem like a Thanksgiving dinner conversation nightmare. We're just going to talk religion, race, and politics, right? So
Thanksgiving is over,
right? It's just like, oh Lord, here we go. So, but that's sort of all the heavy things that people dabble in. One, your argument's well taken. They are all connected, but they are not. I have not seen many people that are willing to dive headfirst into all three of them.
Oh my goodness!
Right,
and so that
is well, and I just find it really interesting, and I think it's all such fraught territory. The question's well framed of just like that. That seems like a big leap after doing race work, after doing theological work. Like, what part of you was like, you know what, like, just haven't quite had enough. Right, let's tackle the third leg of this thing.
Some people are gluttons for punishment.
That would be me.
Yeah, absolutely.
Somebody got to do the hard work. She said it's going to be her.
Somebody got to do it.
Good for you.
I go back to the calling. Sometimes you're like, are you serious? Are you serious, God? This is what you're doing? This is what I'm supposed to do? My sister Anita would always say, you always pick the intense path.
Sure.
Right? And it's true. I think that, I've always been involved and intrigued, interested in politics. I believe, again, Angela Davis, the personal is political and the political is personal.
Period.
Sure.
Okay, so, and also to make change, be the change you want to see, all the things, right? And so I look at it from a social perspective, the macro focus. How do we look at changing institutions and policies that create practices, that create viewpoints that people have? And so I like to see myself in all three realms, the micro, the meso, and the macro, right? The interpersonal and community and institution. So to answer your question, living in Dayton, Virginia, which is right next to Harrisonburg, small, mostly Mennonite town. Okay. Going back to my roots, you feels like you're in Lake.
You find every Mennonite town we got. I'm surprised you ain't in charge of Hampton.
Look, horse and buggies go by my place of residency.
There you go.
I was tapped on the shoulder. I was just minding my business, thinking like, okay, we're gonna just create Destiny's Daughters headquarters is there, and those kind of things in Dayton, and kind of be on the little quiet side. Got tapped on the shoulder by someone who was on town council at that time. Said, would you be interested? I was like, let me think about it. Local politics, let me think about it. I interviewed for it. At first, I wasn't selected for a appointed position, and then they invited me to run. I do like a challenge. So, but I also, more importantly, like to see how I can make a difference. And so the most important reason why I got involved in it, I love the town of Dayton. It's unique in its way. And the people there, and also seeing where God has planted me at, and what can I do to help make a difference there. And it starts a lot with the macro, the policies and politics there. Got involved in there. First African American woman. Okay, it's a majority white institution, white community, and I think it's been really amazing because I've brought into that role my social work background, my restorative justice perspective.
That could shift the town.
Exactly.
That's all my town need, I think.
Listen, let me know.
Have you heard of Orange?
I have heard of Orange. Oh, wow.
That's where I'm from.
Okay.
I don't think it's Mennonite. No. But it is country.
Oh, no.
If you want to go down there and try to check some things like
I might come by and see what they got going on.
There you go.
But yeah, it's been interesting. I'm on the chair of the personnel committee there. I did run for mayor. Their last election time, I knew I wasn't necessarily going to get that vote. The mayor prior to that, the mayor that just came on, he was the mayor before, so had a good following, and I supported him. He's our mayor now, Mayor Sam Lee. He's African American, which is something that I was impressed when I first moved there, and so we work very well together. But I think it is looking at how can I make a difference, and where is there a need that I believe I have skill sets to contribute. And so got involved in town council, and it's been an amazing ride as well. And you learn so much. You learn so much about what actually makes a town. How does a town keep moving, and what do the people need? And so we deal with a lot of the small businesses, and then the Mennonite farms, and then the school systems. I see my life as helping to make a positive impact on systems. And so that is where I find my passion at.
Has politics changed anything for you? As you get into it and say, I didn't think it worked that way. And has it changed the way you think about your work outside of the political sphere?
It does. I think it actually, I didn't know the depth of local politics. We see the big picture. We're like, yeah.
It's made me cynical.
Local politics is there's a lot to it. It's more than people think, oh, I'm just going to do a little something. No, it is. Local politics is really where it's at. Right, that's where affect change, and that's where you really deal with issues head on. And actually, on the flip side, is where you can make the most difference. Right, okay. Because you can vote on things, you can change policies quicker. Right, in that way. In Virginia, and also has connected me broader to what's happening in Virginia, because I get connected to other towns, maybe even Orange, Virginia, to see what's happening there. I think the most important thing I would say is that it helped me to know and just reinforce the importance of relationship, the importance of respect, and the importance of dignity and worth of each person, to help people's voices be heard. Because that's the most thing happening. People feel the voice is not being heard, the perspective is not being heard. And I think that whether or not you agree or not agree, because many things I don't agree on, can I create space for people to be heard? That is the most important thing. And I bring that, again, from the therapeutic background to politics. See, it's connected. It's connected. So
I think it is all connected.
It's connected. It's connected.
If you were I'm a little early on this.
Yeah.
I'm doing pretty well, though.
You're doing great.
I'm trying to keep myself on schedule here.
They told us we can do some more ad breaks.
Okay.
Well, look, if you are just tapping in to Envision Radio from the United Way of Greater Charlottesville, City of Promise, News Radio 98.9, 1070 AM WINA, Dr. Melody Pannell, the Director of Healthcare Leadership, Education, and Community Wellness at UVA Health, is here joining us. And a big thanks to our sponsor, the Jefferson School Foundation. Have we talked about your current work yet? Have we made it there yet?
She still got a book we ain't say nothing about. We got a lot of things we ain't. I mean, when you're as achieved as Miss Pannell, you ain't gonna get through everything in no one episode.
All right.
So she's coming back next week.
But listen.
Tell us a little bit about authorship.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is I'm part of an amazing program called the Rise Mentoring Program out of New York.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
out of,
sure.
Union Theological Seminary. Started there with Dr. Lisa Rhodes. And I became, first I was a mentee,
mm-hmm.
and I was involved in that program and graduated through that program. So thank you for all who mentored me there, and then became a mentor for the program. Currently, I actually am connected to the Richmond, Charlotte, North Carolina branch.
Mm-hmm.
And so I serve as a mentor there. So we had an opportunity. Part of that is helping clergy, lay leaders, women in ministry, right? Empowerment. So again, all about empowering Black women in spaces where they are often left out, right? Due to sexism and in the church and ministries and things like that, in institutions, seminaries. And so this program empowers women, brings them together to mentor them and help them to achieve those goals and the calling that they have. So this particular book is a devotion book as well, and focus on sisterhood. And I had an opportunity to contribute to a part of that, where I wrote a devotion in that book, along with my other cohort members and other people who are involved. This is an opportunity also for Black women to be able to write, to get our thoughts, to get our vision, to get what God is speaking to us documented. Right? Many times in social work we say this, but it's true in life. Sometimes if it wasn't documented, some people say it didn't happen, right? Or you don't have your voice, or the power of the pen. He who holds the pen holds the power. And so that was part of that book launch and that focus. And so you have women writing different devotions to help people navigate through spirituality, through how to be better sisters to one another, how to follow your calling. My particular devotion was focusing on being ready, coming from a scripture, looking at the bridesmaids, keeping your oil lamp lit, basically. Stay lit, stay lit, stay lit.
We're coming towards the future. Price, get us there.
Towards the future?
Yeah, towards the current work. You were
that's what you were talking about. That's not the future. That's now.
The present.
Is
that right?
now.
The future is now. Tell us a little bit about what's going on now with with your work at UVA Health, and I think the big question is sort of, does that change? Will that change? What does the last year look like? What does the next year look like? Tell us a little bit about what's keeping you busy right now.
Absolutely. So in my, role at UVA Health, I'm coming up on my 4th year anniversary in October.
Yeah.
Again, I'm going to say it's all connected. Diane Swan Wright, she did her PhD there at UVA in history. I'm connected to the Coming to the Table project that brings descendants of those who were enslaved and those who families enslaved together to look at that healing perspective. And then also just the community wellness. So my work that I've done there has been working with School of Medicine professors in learning how to develop aspects of communication, how to develop aspects of compassion, active listening, therapeutic modalities for them to help to do the work better, right? So leadership development. We've also highlighted stories of people's lives in the community to bring them together, and also stories of people's lives throughout UVA Health to learn more about them. So we know them in the professional sense, but we want to get to know them personally and what their journey has been.
I love that.
Right? How did they become this particular doctor, or how did they become focused on a particular specialty in that way? So healthcare leadership development is really important, but I'm even more excited as well about the community wellness. And so it's what I've been doing for the past 4 years there, and really leaning into even more now. The mental health, our map to health, which is a research document that just came out, and that everyone, especially our nonprofits, are looking at what is the need in Charlottesville. And so mental health has always been one of the top focuses, health disparities that we have, and social injustices as well. And so I'm focusing in my work at UVA Health on community wellness. And how does outreach, yes, within the UVA Health system, to help with different aspects of wellness and mental health, but also throughout the community.
I think I was just at an event at Zion Baptist Church like maybe a month ago on women's wellness.
Yes.
And they had like a clinic. They were checking people's A1C.
That's it.
Okay.
Absolutely.
I think it was the UVA.
It is.
Okay.
We're
Cool.
connected to those things. So we, again, along with my colleagues, Jackie Martin and others, DeJuan Love Dinkins, Ashley Woodard, and under Dr. Tracy Downs, we do a lot of work in the community, of course, on the physical, health side, and then also we're leaning even more into the mental health. So that's where I come in, bringing my background, bringing my focus on how do we look at trauma resilience, how do we look at mental health wellness, compassion fatigue, those who are helping in the community. How do we help them manage their stress levels and build resilience? And so I'm excited about that work. Do mind, body, and spirit. Mind, body, and spirit. Again, it comes together from a spiritual, theological perspective, physical health, and mental health.
As a person who preaches, have you found that people still hold on to this idea that women shouldn't be pastors and preachers?
Oh, my goodness. Yes.
Do you still run into that?
I do run into that, especially in Virginia. It's
hard.
It's hard.
I feel it.
It is. People would say, as a preacher, I'm supposed to look a certain way. And, I dress like I'm from Harlem in New York City, in many ways. But in fashion, right? And all the, things, the trends in that way. But I preached at a few places where I couldn't preach in the pulpit. I couldn't be on the stand.
Oh, okay.
Had to be lower, preach lower amongst the people. That happened. If that ever happened to me today, I would refuse.
Okay.
Refuse that assignment. Yeah.
I brought that up because when I was growing up, Blue Run Baptist Church in Orange County, Virginia, it's historical. It's one of the oldest churches in Virginia. It broke off from an originally white Blue Run church that couldn't, enslaved individuals couldn't go there. They created their own church, bought a property down the road. So I grew up there.
That's right.
And when I was a young girl, a preacher who had been there for a long time, and she was their first woman pastor, even over 30 years ago, Peggy Bryce. And I remember as a child, may she rest, she's passed away now, how even crazy it felt then to me as a young child. Because everybody else, you're talking about 40 years ago, you ain't supposed to be preaching. 40 years ago, now, okay, maybe. But yeah, I remember her feeling that she was super powerful. I remember being in the pews thinking, I was a little scared. I was scared of it, but you had to be the woman that people, feared is probably the wrong word, but she was powerful and people liked or didn't like that. And because she was powerful, she was able to get into a male-dominated field. But yeah, I just remember her preaching, people thinking it was crazy, and her not giving one iota because she knew where her role was. Yes, and so, I wanted to shout out Peggy Bryce. May she, rest in peace in heaven. But yeah, that's why I think it's so powerful that the work that you're doing in womanism theology, and I appreciate the work that you're doing in the field of study that you continue to push forward.
Thank you so much. Yeah, I didn't grow up with a lot of women preachers in the Baptist or the Mennonite churches. Addie Banks, Pastor Addie Banks, out of the Bronx in New York. She was the first woman that I heard preach as a Black woman, particularly, and then others along the way. But I will say that my immediate family and friends were always supportive of my calling. I was preaching since when I was a teenager, right? At Camp Deer Park, at summer camps, different roles. And so it's been challenging. The last thing I'll say on that is when I first was called to go to seminary, I honestly, and I told my professor this, my first professor this, that I had to deal with my own imposter syndrome and my own internalized sexism, thinking like, oh, can I actually become official and go to seminary? And I think I struggled with that. I really did, because I didn't feel like I was good enough or I was supposed to. Even if people were supporting me, that was still ingrained in me. And so a lot of my work too, whether it's sexism, racism, and other isms, is how do we overcome the internalized oppression that happens because of how we are socialized in society. And so womanist theology is absolutely a way to overcome that issues of racism, sexism, and classism as well, that we belong and we have a voice and we will use it.
If you are just joining us, this is Envision Radio from the United Way of Greater Charlottesville, City of Promise, and News Radio 98.9, 1070 AM WINA. Price and Markey here with Dr. Melody Pannell. Big thanks again to our sponsor, our friend Jefferson School Foundation, jeffersonschoolfoundation.org. And they just wrapped up their, Lord, don't make me a liar. That's what it is.
Festival at the Jefferson School.
That's right.
I was down there every day. Even
Did
the
you?
day I was even day after my shift
really?
ended. My shift ended at United Way yesterday, and I went over there to the Jefferson
What'd you
School
do?
because it mattered to me. They had a line dancing class.
Did you really?
My hips and my back is killing me.
Really?
It is.
Wow.
She said, we were doing boots on the ground. You know how it is.
Oh yeah.
Sure.
Where the fans at?
Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But yes, Jefferson School, Revive and Thrive. Everybody who went out, I hope you had a great time.
That's
They had
right.
a financial literacy lessons and things, and food, and other organizations that are here to help clients and people who need services.
Yeah. That's great. So you mentioned, talk a little bit about how you sort of tie these things together. So, you've written, you're doing work now, you're obviously what we consider your day job. Are you going to get back in, like, are you dabbling in a lot of things? Are you going to start shifting focus to other things, back to theology, maybe more into politics, or are those just kind of accoutrement to your, what we're going to call your day job, your work with UVA Health? So how do you feel about sort of moving forward in these places and spaces again as zeitgeist change, as things move and shift? I mean, is that appealing to you, or are you kind of like, those will remain kind of the second layer? I'm really, really focused on, the work that we're doing at the university.
Yeah, I think that if we look at what's going on in healthcare, it is extremely important to bring the perspective of making sure that people have accessibility.
Sure.
Also, to make sure that that people understand how to work with different populations in healthcare. And then also their own leadership development. I think what I would say is that the community wellness aspect is so important now. It's been important, but let's say going through COVID, going through our different political challenges and the polarization that we're experiencing as well, just dealing with mental health. It is something that I absolutely am leaning into. And I also look at that always as a collaborative effort. So collaborating with the Central Virginia Clinicians of Color, right, working with that team, collaborating with the Community Mental Health and Community Wellness Coalition, collaborating with other Region 10 and other places. I see myself again as a bridge, helping maybe to be part of that leadership or trailblazing some things to see how can we come together. So in my role at UVA Health, it is looking at how do we use our position to bring people together within our system, but then outside within our community for outreach and to help empower organizations to do that and empower people that we are serving. And so leaning into that strongly, I do I probably would, if I sat here and said I would let go of all other stuff, not necessarily. I think it's seasons where you shift or you put a little focus here, put a focus there. But I do think those things are important because I do believe in systems theory, where you're looking at all aspects of the system. I believe in the ecological perspective. I believe in the dimensions of wellness, social determinants of health, where it looks at how we are together, where we work, where we live, where we play, how we're socialized, who has access. All those things matter. And so you probably will see me in those other realms. And then even continuing with my own education. I'm currently in a PhD program where I'm looking at the neurobiological impact of traumatology of Black women. So I'm looking at, again, how does the mind work? Because my study in my last project was looking at intergenerational trauma of Black women and girls, and looking at how that affects behaviors and beliefs. And so I'm really focusing into the science. I didn't go into the medical field as
we came back around.
Right, as I knew.
There you go. That's exactly
as my
right.
father,
Just
my mother
as you planned
did.
it, yeah.
But it is. I'm fascinated with neurobiological or aspects of how the body responds to trauma, how the mind processes trauma, and then within the system. Right, within the ecological, system. So how society impacts that as well on that too. And so, again, I see that's connected. I know it's, I call it beautiful chaos perhaps, but the beautiful struggle of human nature is really what I am a student of.
If people want to find your work, hear more about what you're up to, how can they find you?
Yes, I am absolutely on social media. So I'm on Facebook, just under my name, really, as Dr. Melody Pannell. I'm on Instagram with the same title. I do have a website, melodymariepannell.com. Destiny'sDaughters.org is on there as well. And on LinkedIn under my name directly, where I post some things.
Are you a person, before we go, are you a person that makes people to make sure they say the doctor? I didn't say the doctor. And now I'm mad. I feel bad because I should have said the doctor part because it was right here.
No. Well, you know what?
We always laugh about every doctor.
True.
Every time we have a doctor, we ask them, well,
no,
everybody need to say doctor.
No, I am not. I look at it this way, and it may sound, arrogant in that way. I was who I was before I became doctor. And the doctor title does not define me. And so, yes, did I earn a doctorate in womanist theology? Yes. Womanist preaching? Yes. Do I hope to earn a PhD in social work? Yes, I do. However, I've been who I am and doing the work. And whether I never did or never do earn any other, titles, we're all on a journey. And it doesn't make me any better or higher than anyone else.
Thank you, Dr. Pannell.
Okay.
See, that sounds like people with money when they say it's not about money. Because that makes me feel good. If as someone who doesn't have a doctor, if I had one,
call me doctor at the dinner table.
If I had two doctors, listen, stop.
You gonna call? I'm gonna be at the grocery store. They say. Thank you, doctor. Like,
forget it all the time.
It'd be like when you get a wedding ring, engagement ring, you start just exactly. Did y'all see my ring?
Now when it's time to use a title, you know what I mean,
or
like lots of
salutation. I'm like, every time I'm checking that
don't
box.
Don't send me a donation letter with don't got doctor on it.
Every name tag.
The first time I saw it, I was just like, oh my god.
I know.
Or when someone like even my niece or other people was like, oh. I was like,
I had to ask because
Listen,
I needed
I would
to know.
be signing my emails, Dr. T,
There wouldn't
Dr.
be
P.
a place that it wouldn't say doctor.
My whole signature would change.
I would call the credit card company and say when they print out a receipt, When I swipe my card, when the receipt come out the cash register, it better say doctor.
Oh yeah, my whole signature would change. I would start writing it out.
I did change my signature now. I mean, no, I don't want to act like, oh, I don't really care. No, because that was hard work.
I know that's right.
Listen, that Price Thomas would be like Dr. P. I would change the whole thing.
I'd be at the dentist talking about, y'all better call me doctor. You in my mouth, the doctor.
I teased my father. I just went to go visit him recently, and he's going to be 85 next month.
Shout out.
And he's in New York. And I presented him with, a token of a white coat from UVA School of Medicine, our school for leadership program, right? He's, again, obviously he's not a UVA doctor. But anyway, I presented him. I was like, okay, I'm presenting. We did a whole white coat ceremony. And I was like, from Dr. Pannell, me to Dr. Pannell. So we laughed, and I was like, now you're not the only doctor in the family, that. I was like, it's me as well.
That's right.
And I tease people too. Look, if I don't get this PhD, okay, I'm still a doctor. I still got the doctor.
You got a backup one.
My thing is, I would say Doctor Squared. I'm putting a little exponent in my signature if I get 2 doctors.
That's interesting.
Yeah, because how would people know? The one doctor is not conveying that.
Exactly. How would they know?
That's interesting. That's good. Yeah, I mean that's what when you have all the different certifications, like all my nursing friends.
PDSGTFBFG Esquire.
ABCDEFGHI.
And I need an Esquire. I don't know what Esquire means, but I want it on the end of
That's a long one, but that's a good one. Yeah. I don't think we can do that.
But okay.
Big thanks to Melody for joining us. And again, if you guys have ideas for the show, want to get in touch with us, check us out in what is it? United Way Seville or at City of Promise, or the inbox is envision at UnitedWaySeville.org. And again, MelodyMariePannell.com, Destiny'sDaughters.org.
Yes.
Bingo. Got it. See, that part of me still works.
That's why we pay you the big bucks.
That's what I'm talking about. We get support on the show from all of you. And if you like what you hear, share this with your friends, your family, your colleagues. Subscribe on your favorite platform for new episodes every week. And of course, the best way to support us, consider making contributions. City of Promise, United Way, and any of our other wonderful local nonprofits. It's how we continue to do our community-based work, and of course, this show. We will see y'all for the what is it? Minority Business Alliance.
Minority Business Alliance Gala. That's it.
We will be there live and live in color again.
As your host.
2 live shows a year. For Melody and Marky, this is Price. Big thanks to our sponsor, our friend, the Jefferson School Foundation. That is jeffersonschoolfoundation.org. Learn more, stay connected. We will see you next week.
Peace.